Hello, Cleveland. It's exactly as yeah, Spinal Tap performance just might be. Um, Basically went to launch and Evie Mux refused for two attempts, and then finally it started going, and it created a whole new stream and link. First things first, I need to get some of our followers who are like sitting in a stream that's not starting over to this new link to the stream that has just started. Um, but after that, we're going to turn it up to 11, folks. We're going to have a good time tonight because we're doing This is Spinal Tap, and this is our 1 year anniversary stream. So, So I am going to introduce our panelists, and meanwhile, I'll be going back and forth, just trying to make sure everybody knows that we are at a different link. They're going to get a help ticket about this, I tell you. All right, first things first. It's been 1 year, and all the way at the beginning of this journey, in the first Sunday of June in 2024, 1 year ago, joining us on that panel from the very first night and every night since then has been my partner in life as well as in earworms. Please welcome Liza Sahido of the Psyche Electroacoustic Opera Company. Hello, lady.
Hello. Hey, what's going on with these new YouTube icons? These purple crown icons. Does anyone in the chat know what that is?
Dude, I'm just trying to get things on a link. I'm trying to get a stream started, and now you're talking to me about purple crown
Yeah,
icon.
there's a new icon in the chat, and I don't know what it means. And it looks like you got 50 XPs, whatever that means.
That sounds like experience points. I don't know. Maybe
I mean, it looks like YouTube is rewarding you for something, but I don't know what that means. It would be nice to know if that translates into money.
it's rewarding me for actually getting a stream started. And now I'm looking at our current stream, the one it created, and it says waiting for the Wayfarer project. Um, so let me refresh this. I want to make sure we're going, folks.
Okay.
I want to make sure we're actually going. Actually, in the meantime, I can. Do you see a running stream, Liza, on your end?
Yes, on the new
Yeah, I mean that's the
brand.
one I went to.
Yeah,
But
yeah, it's running. It's running. That's
all
where I'm
right,
seeing all these
all
crowns.
right. Okay, well, we have what 50 experience points.
50 XPs now. Oh,
Yeah.
Emperor Goodwin's in here.
All right.
He says it's the leaderboard ranking. What is that? What does this do for us?
Well, we'll find out in a minute, but first we're a little bit backlogged here, Cleveland. Next on lead guitar, we do have Mr. Mike Mountain Hawk Gorley. How you doing, Mike?
Well, I'm just great tonight. How's everybody out there? Hell,
Yeah,
I love
Oh
that
gosh.
guitar
remembering
sounding like
this
a flute.
Remember in this movie when they were backstage and they were looking for the stage? They're all pumped up, they're ready to go, and they're just walking around. The guy's like, you got to go down to the first right and then jog a little left and then another right. And it's like,
Oh yeah. I still
uh,
wanted to rewatch this week, but I never got around to it. Been busy, busy, busy. But I have seen it
mm,
before, so it'll come back to me as we go.
yeah. And
Me,
Liza has
hell yeah.
watched it this week. So we'll be able to have a pretty good discussion tonight if people find it.
Hell, hell.
Ew. I'll have whatever Mike's having, he says.
Yeah, I'm wondering if I should leave that dead stream there
I
just
think
so
I'm
people
still
see the
fighting
link and
John
come to
Butler
this
last.
one. I don't know. I think I might go ahead with that. I'm sorry, Mike. What did you say?
He was said he'll have whatever I'm having. I said I think I'm still pumped from John Butler last night. That was a hell of a freaking show.
Oh, wow.
Mind blowing.
Do you have anything to say about it?
Oh man.
Other than mind
All,
blowing?
all I can say is I'm so glad that because he's getting ready to tour with a whole bunch of other bands, and he's not the headliner. He should be, but he's not. But after all that got announced, he announced that he was doing to start the tour 2 intimate shows in Nashville. So it was just him. He played for 2.5 freaking hours, and it just it's live music, man. John Butler is a just unreal in concert. He's just full of energy. He's just he's the real deal. He's a real dude that is talented and has real shit to say, and he plays with incredible passion. So
Awesome. All right. So I am still not able to find this actual stream that's going on YouTube.
well, yeah, funny. I made a comment and then I went out of YouTube, and when it came back, comments were gone. So I don't know.
Well, Scott's here. Emperor Goodwin's here. So we're somewhere.
Well, it's fitting that the Emperor should be here since, I was here a year ago, but I wasn't on stage a year ago.
Oh, yeah.
I forget, man. We'll have to look up. I'm not
Well,
sure.
just like Steve Howe, you may not be an original member, but you're a major force to be reckoned with in the earworms history.
Just put me in company with Steve Howe. I'll take that.
All right. Well, Emperor Goodwin's in the chat, and I know he can only be with us for a little while here in the chat because he's smoking sausage tonight.
Oh man.
That
I'll have some of what
probably doesn't sound the best, but no, they're actual like a smoker and actual outdoor cooking and that sort of thing, and he's doing like 25 pounds worth or something. I mean,
maybe I'll take a pound of sausage, man.
I'm looking here because there's got to be I see one. There are like 3 links. Oh, I know what happened. Okay, I know what happened. I'm going to have to paste this link in the other ones. It made 3 links. So there's 2 that are waiting on me, and then there's this one, the real one. I need to put the link in the other one so that people find it. I mean, sorry, folks, it's rock and roll. And, Evie Mux decided to do this to us tonight. And it's
Mux is putting out fake links. Oh my God.
No, it's not fake links. It's just each time, like when it has an error in trying to start, here, I'm going to type, we are
Oh,
here.
mister, we got a former student in the chat. Say hello to Amikum.
Amico.
Amikum.
Amikum. Oh, well, great to have you. I'm just going to drop one more link here on the first original stream, the one that actually has the thumbnail. Ignore that because it created a second one during the first error, and now we're actually live on the third one. Ignore that. We are at.
I feel like I'm bootlegged.
Okay. All right. Well, we're gonna
Mike.
now. We gotta actually start talking about this film instead of, trying to figure out what's going on. I think we know what's going on. But anyway, 1-year anniversary. It's great to have Emperor Jay Goodwin there. He was there right at the start. And, we can have a trivia question. A good trivia question is, who was the other person on the panel 1 year ago today? And none of you say, but we'll see if there's anybody there that knows. Maybe Scott does. I don't know. But
Scott might know.
yeah, Scott might know. All right.
I have no idea.
Mike
That's okay.
doesn't know.
I'm just,
Well, that's a year ago. A year can be a long time these days.
Yes, very true.
Okay.
I'm just so much
Ooh,
older
Emperor
than
Goodwin
I'm younger
knows.
than now.
Well, yeah, he was there.
Well, there was
there.
they had a predecessor.
I just wasn't on stage. I was backstage.
Yeah, I needed to hide Goodwin on stage there because I had him in here just in case he joins us.
Can I give away the answer, please?
Wait a minute.
Oh.
Let the chat try to guess first. Do we have any? Do we have any guesses? Well, let me get to the right stream. I'm probably going to have to delete these other streams.
Man.
Just delete the other stream and get onto the right one.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to delete these bogus streams so people don't end up there.
Folks, I
Oh,
think
well,
soon we shall replace all
great.
these things with OBS and OBS Ninja.
Yeah, well, one thing is,
folks, I'm giving you the hints.
like on Rumble, when this happened to us once before, it didn't create a new link. It kept going on the same stream link, and it was okay. Somehow it's YouTube and Evie Mux, where if Evie Mux has a fart and it doesn't go, it basically, it makes a new link. And so since it did that twice to us, we have like 2 other streams that are not going to happen there. So I'm going to delete them right now, and then we'll get going. This is a great way. 1 year later, and we're suffering.
The Empress says this is going at least as well as the very first episode of Earworms.
Well, that one we actually did connect live and everything was going fine, except it was a little quiet. It was a little quiet during the first 30 seconds, I think.
Just remember, man, there's always a little bit of heaven in a disaster area.
Yeah.
And for those of you that don't know, that's because for the first 30 seconds I was monologuing, doing the introductions, and I was muted. So you have my face on screen. But yeah, and you came crashing in the door saying, all right, you're muted. All right, so here we are. We are at our slides. I deleted the other streams, so we should be good to go. I'm going to send this in to Evie Mux and, at least let them know, this is not good, because now you have to do all this dancing around once you do get going.
Liza, wait, Liza wants to give the answer.
Can I give the answer? Come on.
Well, how many responses did we get yet?
0.
Nobody
We got
knows.
0.
I even threw out a couple hints. No one was listening, but I think I threw out a couple hints.
Well, let's say the individual could be a little problematic.
Yes.
That's a hint.
Yes.
Well, it's part of this. Well, let's go on, and we'll do it at least after a few slides.
Can I give his cool name though?
His cool name.
That might give the audience a clue.
Oh, okay. It has to do with bodies of water, right?
Yes. Okay. So, nickname for our first co-host is Ocean Man.
Yeah.
That doesn't even help me out.
And if you're wondering, why he isn't here tonight, is I think he had
he took the stream by the hand.
No,
Goodwin.
But actually, the reason why he can't be with us tonight is I think he died.
What?
I think he.
What?
Yeah, I think he. Yeah, it was a bizarre gardening accident. And,
Oh God. Oh.
And the police said it's best to just kind of leave some things unsolved and leave well enough alone.
Okay, people, just
So,
if you haven't seen this movie, it's a joke based on the
okay.
movie. You know, Ocean Man is alive.
Well, we
Okay.
don't know. I mean, from day to day, I'm just wondering, am I going to make it? So anyway, here we go. We're going to do the film now, and uh, boy, now
Thank
why?
God.
Thank. Yeah, the added pressure is great there, Mike. Let's see here. Now I'm wondering why, because there we go. I
I
can
mean,
now
I don't know how
access the
much
slide.
longer that lion can hold its mouth open.
Okay. This is a logo I haven't seen in a long time. Probably the company is out of business or something like that. Embassy Studios, but I remember seeing that a lot when I was growing up. But there we go. MGM Embassy Studios collaborating together to make a better universe for all of us. All right. So here's our host, the creator of this documentary. He may look a little bit like Rob Reiner, but it's actually not. It's Marty DeBurgi. That is our documentary filmmaker that has done the research, spent the time, went on tour, and basically got the sights, sounds, and the smells of Spinal Tap and captured them all in this documentary that we're now taking a look at and paying homage to years later. This was 1982, I believe. And oh, the early 80s, man. Something funky going on back then. Huh. And there we go. There's the logo, Spinal Tap, one of the best logos in the music industry, I believe. And it's saying, "This is Spinal Tap." You know, it's a serious documentary when it says, "This is," and then the subject matter of that documentary. But yeah, beautiful stuff with the plane in the background. They There's opening scenes of them, some people on luggage carousels, roadies loading things, getting the feeling that here we are coming to America, this British pop band. And when they arrive, there's I guess, a limo driver there for them, looking for Spinal Tap. Um, so maybe a typo. I don't think it was. Yeah, it's not a name change. They've had many names throughout the years, but Spinal Tap was not one of them. So there we go. Oh, here's one of their fans. I don't know if you remember this lady. She was really tuned in, I would say. She's there waiting for them and saying, in these concerts, you become one with the group. You become one with their sound. And she said a few other things that vaguely meant something. But
You become one with tinnitus in a lot of these type of things.
yeah, if you don't wear your earplugs. Hey, Mike, did you wear earplugs to see John Butler?
Yes, Mike.
No, was I supposed to?
Well,
Oh, Mike.
how loud do they turn it up there? I mean, is it something
I
where your
don't.
ears are ringing afterwards?
No, we kind of hung out back by the soundboard, but I mean, it was a small venue. I don't know. Consider the
Oh,
source
okay.
louder.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Well,
used to
yeah.
singing by the stage.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
Then,
he does play an acoustic 12-string guitar through a Marshall stack.
yeah. Well, I mean, I guess
A lot of people do that. I mean,
well, I guess none of them really have the power of Spinal Tap, which can go to 11. They can
Ugh.
turn their amps up to 11.
that's
So
right. That's right.
they're
Ay, ay.
it it's more than 10. Here we go, their
Look at John, I'm
stage.
going to wish I found time to watch this movie this week.
Oh,
I've seen it
man.
before. I didn't get to watch it this week.
Well, there we go.
You're
It's
going to get
like,
me with some jokes all night. I'll just have to concede now.
okay. The the inside jokes may not land, but, for anyone that has seen it, Yeah,
Well, I have, but it's been a few years.
yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, and I didn't remember all of them, but oh man, some memorable experiences like this. I don't know, echoes of Iron Maiden there, I think. Except Iron Maiden had, I forget what the name of the guy is. They had this kind of like um uh it's like this mascot without skin.
Gee,
Kind of like skeletal with muscles
might
and
be one
everything.
or two metal bands out there like that. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if it was Freddie or Sammy or what his name was, but it's something like that. There we go on stage looking
Marilyn
beautiful.
Manson? I don't know.
Marilyn Manson. Marilyn Manson doesn't need a mascot. Oh man. And there's Nigel Tufnell, the lead guitarist. Yes, sir. Played quite well by Christopher Guest. Interesting thing, Liza, you saw this just this week with me, and I was going to ask you, where do you think the guitarist, the lead singer, and bass player are from? The actors. We're not talking about their persona, but their actors. Where do you think they're from?
Let me guess. They're not British?
Well, you're trying to think multiple steps ahead. Just give me your raw, pure.
Oz.
Well, I mean, I thought they were from the UK. Are they?
They, some of them spent a little time in the UK and grew up maybe a little bit in the UK, but Christopher Guest, this guy, Nigel Tufnell, is the character. He was born in New York
Yeah.
City. His
Yeah.
father was a British diplomat, but his mother was, I guess, garden variety Americana. And actually, if you hear him talk in a lot of cases, you don't hear a lot of an accent because I think he spent more years in the U.S. But yeah, pure, not pure Liverpool as one might expect. And here we have David St. Hubbins. That's the character name, played well by Michael McKean, who was also from New York.
No, I thought he was from Milwaukee.
Really? Maybe.
He lived
Let
with
me.
this guy named Squiggy.
Oh, Lenny.
I do know something.
Yes, yes. The actor did also play Lenny from Laverne and Shirley.
Vernon Shirley.
I think that's before Liza's time. So,
Whoa.
Yeah.
Well, that's what you get for marrying an old man.
Whoops,
backfired.
there's, it has its benefits. Oh man, we're not as far apart in age as it looks.
No. Mike, it's partially that I grew up under a rock, I was into my own thing. I didn't even connect with what people were listening or watching in high school, very,
I mean, she was there in the 80s, just maybe a little too young. And I think Laverne and Shirley were probably, that probably was done by the middle of the 80s, right?
dudes, if it wasn't Star Wars or Star Trek, I had no idea. So,
Okay. All right.
yeah, that was me growing up.
All right. And then here, bass player Derek Smalls, played by Harry Shearer. His first gig, according to IMDb, was on an Abbott and Costello film. It's like something about Abbott and Costello go to Mars or something like that.
Oh, really?
Probably not one of their more famous works, but but that's where he got his start, and he's from L.A. or born in L.A. Now, I mean, it's really general. I didn't look up in detail each person individually, but let's just put it this way: they weren't like all born and bred in the UK, and but they had some access to the accent and everything.
So he's the bass player. So was he trying to do Lemmy here? Is that what the deal was? He trying to be Lemmy, a Motorhead?
I don't know. I think there's a number of things. I mean, of course, his whole thing is this. You put your fist in the air and stuff, and there's a lot of moments where he did that. But he was also describing himself as like at the end of the film that he's there with these great poets like Nigel and David, these great wizards of thought. That there could sometimes be like discord and some difficulties between them, and he's there like as like water to deal with their fire and their ice. So,
Oh my God, he does have the. I never noticed that before.
let me go
He's
back.
he's got the. Yeah, I just looked up a picture of Lemmy. I'm like, oh my God, man, he's got the Lemmy mustache, sideburns, the whole damn thing.
Yeah.
I never made that connection before. Now
Well,
I wonder if that was deliberate. I mean, Lemmy was a bass player too, you know.
oh, well, yeah, well, that might have been what they went off on, but yeah, it's a mockumentary, folks, meaning
Well,
it's a
yeah, I know. But
documentary,
I
but
never made the Lemmy connection.
yeah. So, I mean, throughout, there's just all these cues and things that they take from the pop music industry. And at that time, it was they were mostly going on the hard rock, maybe somewhat heavy metal. Sometimes I say heavy metal, but metal got a lot heavier than these guys. So I would say more of like a hard rock thing at the time. But a lot of the fun that they had with it did connect up with a variety of bands. There was points where you could tell they're kind of like making fun of a little bit of Iron Maiden, a little bit of Yes, um, not as much Rush, but maybe a little bit, maybe some overtones there. But yeah, and they were making fun of Van Halen at one point and all sorts of things. So anyway, and then of course the lesser known Vic Savage on keyboards. Um, I the actor doesn't even have a picture in IMDb, just the name. Let me just do that quick. So I gotta help out. Yeah, it's David Caff is the actor. So there we go. Vic Savage, great on the keyboard, a Savage player. Yeah,
Savage.
yeah, and he can cover some bass lines and stuff like that too. If a member leaves, he can work that in there. And then a drummer, I forget what drummer it was at this point. I forget what the name is. It's hard to remember all the drummer names, but we'll just say drummer number probably 4 or 5. Because they had some issues which we will be talking about with their drummers.
Oh, just blame the damn drummer.
I think it might have been Shrimpton, might have been his last name. And here we go. They start off with an interview talking about their history a little bit. And Marty DeBerge's interviewing them. And we find out they actually do have a rather rich history. The first discussion was about the drummers and how the first one did die in a bizarre gardening accident. And it's best left untalked about. Oops. Let me not go ahead too fast there. And actually, we do see the drummer there. That first drummer in the background there. That drummer was the one that died in a bizarre gardening accident. I think it was Stumpy Peets was his name. Played quite well by Ed Begley Jr. I don't know if anyone remembers that actor, Ed Begley Jr.
Yeah.
Nope. Well, there was a lot of cameos in this, and of course, you see the background there and the lovable mop tops. So there we go. That was at that time they were called the Thamesmen, named after that River Thames.
What's LO2 mean?
LO2. That means lyrics number 2.
Oh.
So I don't think I need to call it up because I was going to call it up to have you read it, Mike, because you're such an eloquent speaker, and because of my vision, sometimes I'm not the best to be reading off things, but I think I can. I think I can here.
I think I can.
Yeah, it's this is a beautiful song entitled "Gimme Some Money." You've heard of Money, by Pink Floyd, and a number of the songs are about money and everything. But this one is probably the first. It looks like, at least there. It might have been a little bit before Floyd. So here we go. Stop wasting my time. You know what I want. You know what I need. Or maybe you don't. I, that's, that's pretty deep. Real deep.
Wow, man, that's
Don't
like
they use this
so
in
it-
a Verizon commercial now or something?
It could be. I mean,
I've heard it before
yeah,
on commercials.
yeah. I've heard it here and there around. So no, they actually did release music for this mockumentary and did perform and stuff. So these are musicians that can play, but it's not their main gig. It's kind of like what they do in addition to acting. But they can play live, but I guess just enough to pay homage to the film and maybe have some fun. But anyway, here we go. Here's the real sticker. Do I have to come right flat out and tell you everything? Give me some money. Give me some money. There we go. So we don't even need to show that there. I think I expressed that quite well. It's actually not a hard read for me. All right, so there's the Thamesmen, and unfortunately, drummer Stumpy Pete's did pass due to a bizarre gardening accident, and there he is, close up and blurry. Ed Begley Jr. I forget what it was he was in the 80s that I remember his name from. I don't know, maybe it was like St. Elsewhere or something like that. I don't know. Maybe someone in the chat can help me out there. But yeah, you let me know anytime you see a letter and a number, Mike, because LO2 indicates that I missed LO1. But I think that comes up later because the song they did start the movie out with, let me see, I have it here in the list. It's the song they start out with was Tonight I'm Going to Rock You Tonight. And that's correct, folks. Tonight I'm going to rock you tonight.
rock you tonight.
But they also closed the film with that, so that'll be coming up again later. So we didn't miss anything. We'll be able to get to it. All righty. And so, they're discussing some things here.
Cigarettes, man.
Oh yeah, yeah.
There's a cigarette. Folks, be warned, there may be smoking in this.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's certainly going to be some smoking at Jay's little festival of outdoor cooking that he's having.
I'm
He said,
jealous, Jay.
yeah,
I'm
he said
jealous.
25 pounds of sausages. Oh man, that's some serious weight there. All right. So anyway, he's celebrating our 1-year anniversary by cooking outdoors and not being here. So that's the way to go. It's like,
Well, if I had 25 pounds of sausage, I wouldn't be here either.
yeah. I wonder if he's ever had to deal with that with Evie Mux before, with the stream not starting and then creating new links and stuff. Because they do use that at B-sides, B-roll stage. That's where Jay can be found to this day. He had to lighten his load a little bit in some of the streaming he was doing. The streaming lifestyle, as you get up there in years, does tend to take its toll. So he can still be found at B-roll stage. Link. Oh, I don't have it in the description, but some weeks I do. You just go to at B-roll stage on YouTube and you'll find them there. B-sides every Friday night. They have some fun watching some public domain films. This one is not in the public domain yet, so this would not be in their list, but they riff on them and have some fun with some shorts and stuff too. What does Jay say there, Liza?
He says Evie Mux is tool of Satan.
Yes. They're all tools of Satan.
Yeah.
And we're watching this evil movie.
Oh yeah. Well,
this evil movie.
There was some satanic imagery earlier. Now I thought I'd remember this conversation, but apparently I don't. Then they get into the drummers. There was a second drummer, and he was also Stumpy, but he wasn't Stumpy Pete. He was Stumpy Joe, I think. And Stumpy Joe choked on vomit. But it's a little different. Some of you may have remembered, or that John Bonham apparently died from vomit choking, but in that case, John Bonham actually choked on his own vomit.
Yes.
but Stumpy Joe, they weren't able to find out whose vomit it was, and that's what Derek's explaining here. Because you can't really dust for vomit. It's not like fingerprints, you know. Although that was in the early 80s. Maybe today you have some advanced genetic work that you can do to, trace the vomit, um, to see who snuck that in there, because that might have been malicious intent. That could have been a murder, or at least reckless endangerment, or some other crime. One of those plethora of crimes we have for hurting other people, maybe killing other people, all that sort of thing. I don't think you can say that on YouTube. Unaliving other people, especially using vomit, is a rather sneaky way of doing it. So maybe it was unintentional. I don't know, accidental vomit. But it could have been a sniper, a projectile vomiter with great skills. So anyway, we don't know. They weren't able to dust for it or anything like that. Oh, we're now at a party. If you're in a rock and roll band, you're a rock and roll superstar, you do get invited to parties. And there's the hostess with the mostess, um, Bobby Fleckman, who is played quite aptly by Fran Drescher. And Liza recognized her when she saw her
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
The Nanny, right?
Yeah, it was a good show.
Mm-hmm.
The name.
And there she is. Nigel gets greeted by her. They're at this party, and there is David Eaton Hogg. No, Dennis. Dennis Eaton Hogg.
Dennis with one N.
Yes. I didn't notice that before. Wow. Excellent pickup there. But anyway, he's like the executive producer. He's the guy that has the money, makes
He's
the
the man.
decisions. Bobby Fleckman is just like, just up there in the corporate world, but this is the guy at the top, who decides what happens and stuff like that. They don't tend to be musicians. They're not there. They're not down with the arts, but they do have some they do have a lot of power because they have the money. They're the ones that decide what goes and what does not. And they're the ones that they tell the artist that, you know what, you got to put a little bit more blue in your sound, things like that. All right. And then here we go. One of the mimes, because they have basically mime catering, lovely stuff at a party, a very 80s things to do. And I'm not sure who the mime on the left there is, but at least his supervisor, his shop steward, so to speak, another mime caterer there is Billy Crystal on the right.
Ah, yes.
Yes, and he told him straight up, man, you got to work it. Mime is money.
That's right. There we go.
Yeah.
There.
You look marvelous. Probably a few years before Throw Mama from the Train.
I was thinking Soap.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, Soap might have been around at this time.
Yeah, I'm thinking that. Yeah, probably.
And, of course, Saturday Night Live. All right, so here we have, I don't know. We're still at this party, and I don't know what's going on. I guess they're taking a picture. All right, and so we
Around a Coke.
Then we are in a limousine with the boys in the band in the back, and this driver here, well, he's a Sinatra fan, so it's a different world. And he notices that the young lady that's hanging out with the band was reading a book, Sammy Davis, and who was in the Rat Pack with Frank Sinatra, and he's commenting on, and talking some stories there. It's like, Frank called the shots, chairman of the board, he called the shots in that pack, in that group they had. And, guys aren't really into his whole talk about Frank Sinatra, and they roll up the window in between, just kind of, because the guy, was talking a little too much about Frank, and trying to point out how Frank had loved and lost, and that's the main difference is these guys, it's just a fad. What they're doing, this hairband stuff, this is just a fad. But Frank will be timeless because he felt the pain. He had loved and lost. I don't know. Uh, but in any case, in the back, they're discussing like New York and Philly and stuff. They decided, they're not going to really go heavy on the New York market, but Philly, yeah, because that's a rock and roll town. And having grown up like maybe an hour and a half from Philly, I would say, yeah, at that time, I'd agree. Philly was a pretty rock and roll town. But other things, R&B, soul music, yes, but Marty DeBerge has to tell them, they're in a different world. It's a different world from Frank and the boys and the girl. What's her name? Liza. Liza Minnelli was in the Rat Pack, I think.
She was? No.
Well, maybe not. Maybe she wasn't one of the Rats, but she did a performance with. It was pretty big when it came out. It was one of the last televised performances of Frank Sinatra, Sammy, and Liza Minnelli.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All righty. So here we go. What do I have a number on this? I don't.
No.
But I think we're getting to Big Bottom here. So, there we are. Oh, it's another LO2. So good. I didn't miss LO1.
The other one was really LO1.
Yeah. This is another EV Mux error. And there we go.
Goodwin doesn't think you're going to finish this today.
Okay, well, we got to start trucking along here. But I will give you a little taste of Big Bottom. Everyone wants a little taste. Goodwin, Goodwin always is the voice of reason. Hurry it up.
Uh-oh. Where did he go? Where did everyone go?
Wait, what? He went offline. Why?
I don't know.
Ah.
He better get it on. I'm falling asleep already.
Yeah, and I'm hungry.
There you go. Yeah.
Well, with people talking about food here, Ming. Can't help it.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to have some meat and beer too.
Some what?
Meat and beer.
Oh.
Yeah.
Beer. There you go.
Yeah. Or mead. Or mead. Yeah.
And a beer.
Oh, yes. Margaritas.
We lost Lawrence. Oh my God, man. The groupies got him.
Yep. Goodwin says
reenactment of the first earworm stream.
Yes.
Yeah, and as I recall, that one went on pretty late.
It did.
I was hoping to make it to 9:30. I'm not sure I'm going to make it to 9 o'clock, honestly.
Yeah. What is going on with Evie Mux?
I don't know. He just kind of went offline. And all we got is Lemmy.
Yep. And his armpits.
He's rock and roll, man. He's got the chains.
Hello.
What happened?
I called up the lyric to Big Bottom in the same tab as Evie Mux. I basically left the studio.
Man, gosh.
And it took me inordinately long to figure out.
That's just a sign not to play this song?
Well, I'm not playing the song. I'm just reading some lyrics.
Oh, no.
The bigger the cushion, the sweeter the pushin'. That's what I said. There we go. And the looser the waistline, the deeper the quicksand. Or so I've heard, great. But my favorite line is there's two I love in this. It's like is like in the chorus after big bottom, talk about bum cakes, my girl got 'em.
Okay.
And of course, the second chorus is big bottom, talk about mud flaps, my girl got 'em. There we go. Now that's some poetry. So anyway,
Okay.
mud flaps gives a whole new meaning to the word. All right, so we move on. That's what they're performing here, and we do get some, uh, some great '80s rock band looks. And there we go. Derek Smalls has himself a bit of bootay. Uh-huh. And I thought I saw like Eddie Van Halen wearing pants like that once, so it was definitely something from that era. The skin tight pants, and of course they do mention later that they have armadillos in their trousers, or at least that's what a lot of people would perceive. All right, so we are moving along here. We are trucking along. We will finish this tonight. At least there will not be a part two. All right, and Marty DeBergie's back. More interviewing, and now they're talking about some of their albums, like this Intravenous de Milo. Just talking about some of the reviews for it, and a lot of the reviews aren't quite kind. You know, there was a lack of maturity, I guess, was what a lot of the critics were saying about some of these albums. Um, they're like, you know, I don't know. Sometimes it's hard to hear some criticism. And then here, this one I think was like kind of like related to bands like Yes and stuff. This is an album where they had basically it was like almost like the Bible set to music or something like that, and but it still did not receive great critical feedback. So yeah, it's kind of hard on the boys there to hear some of that stuff. Shark Sandwich. Now the reviews for this was really quite simple, just 2 words: shit sandwich. And they question that because you shouldn't. I mean, they didn't think that you could print that, so that's obviously got to be a made up criticism there. You know, at least probably not published, but who knows? Best to leave some of those things alone. And then back here in the high rise, that's the place of the party. We're back at the party, and there's a good shot of Ian, the manager of the band. And he has to have a little bit of a talk with some people there. It's kind of like business and pleasure. Uh, and here is kind of like a sign to help people get to the party, I think. Polymer Records, not to be confused with Polygram, but Polymer Records, Hospitality Suite. That's where they're having this. I guess it's not so much an album release festival, but like the album has been finished and they're going to be publishing it. But there's some talk that needs to go on here because Bobby Fleckman and Ian Hogg, no, not Ian Hogg, but Ian, the manager, do have a talk about some issues with the album. She is expressing some of the concerns that corporate is having with the album. So we're actually going to hear those concerns straight from her mouth now because this is video 1. So we get to our first video clip of the night, folks. Yeah, we're gonna have to truck it. We're gonna have to move it along here after this. Let's see here. Media video 1. And then, of course, the first one I have here is named 00. All right, so we're going to move on to 1. I'm not sure what I was trying to do with 00 there, but we will check that out quickly here afterwards. But let's see here. This is a discussion between Bobby Fleckman and Ian about their new album release. Which, wow, so that was a '60s mentality. The kind of greased up naked woman on all fours with a dog collar.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. I guess in the '60s they had some rather, shall we say, barbaric views. But fortunately, we're in the early '80s now, and the corporation's going to put a stop to that. Yeah. So let us get back to our slides here. And yeah, that's the discussion. So that's the crux of the matter. They're going on tour. They're going to be they're releasing this new album, and things are getting held up here because there's some issues with the cover. And then Eaton Hogg calls in and does explain the whole thing to Ian, and he explains it to the band that we can't do that. And who knows what's going to happen? We do find out later. But Nigel is like, says, "What's the matter with a sexy cover?" But no, Bobby's saying that it's a sexist cover. There's a difference between, there may be a fine line, but there is a difference between sexy and sexist. So, all righty. So let us move on from this moment where they're hanging out here, getting interviewed by Marty in a deli, maybe, or some place of food and sustenance. And there's Nigel with a bit of gum on his hand, and Dave is a little embarrassed that he stores gum on his hand to be used later. He says, "Why don't you just put it on the table?" Probably isn't the best thing either, but Nigel's like, "Well, then I might forget it." So anyway, here they are, young boys growing up at ages 7 and 8. And there we go. Lovely young chaps. And we have another video clip from this scene. I think this is where they're singing one of their earliest songs. This is even before the Thamesmen, the hit, Give Me Some Money. This was some old classic. Um, I forget what they called themselves at the time, but when they were growing up, this is something that they would have done. So, or did do. I want to make sure I'm on the right scene here. And you need now 5 might be a little, maybe a little light on the verbiage there, but 6, that's more than enough for a song.
7 is just showing off, man.
So anyway, yeah, Marty thought, yeah, that's good. Classic sound. Good stuff there. So we move on here. A little more discussion about them as they were young and growing up. And, we're back to the present day tonight, Spinal Tap. Now, if you're not aware of the band, this may not be an inviting event. Do you know of anyone that finds, well, I've never had a Spinal Tap myself, but I've heard that they're not enjoyable experiences
No.
from all accounts. So hope I never get one. Let me sit up straight here and get some good posture. Make sure. All right, there we go. And here's some more commentary in the dressing room. Nigel's not happy with the small little breads that they provided with the lunch meat. You have to fold up the lunch meat, and it's just not happening. And then some of these other spreads here, it's like, look at that on the left and look at this on the right. It's like, what is this? I don't know, but I heard that at one time back at this time, like Van Halen, they would insist on a bowl of M&Ms in the dressing room, and the green ones needed to be removed. So I think that's some commentary on stuff like that. Some of that rock and roll royalty stuff that was going on at the time.
Well, it goes beyond rock and roll, and it's still happening today. Even small time artists that most people wouldn't know.
Really? You have some in mind, or?
I don't want to mention any names, but
Okay.
yeah. As a graduate student, one sometimes is sent, you know, to pick up artists, take them around town, bring them back to
Oh,
university, guest artists.
yeah.
And so, yeah,
Well,
things.
you meet all sorts of people. You do meet some artists that are, very, humble, down to earth, and happy to speak to you and everything. And then others that, you need to treat like royalty.
Yeah, and treat everyone else like trash. Yeah.
Well, we
Not good.
have another performance here, some live performance, and these are lyrics number 3. So now I'm going into the proper tab, and I am calling up
You get
lyrics
lost.
3. Yeah, 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 yeah. And this is Hellhole. It's a song called Hellhole. Now, just those two words conjure up some thoughts as well as some questions. A hell hole, not a hellish hole, a hell hole. But anyway, um,
A hole leading to hell.
the window's dirty. The mattress stinks. Mm. The rain, no place to be a man. The rain, no. Oh, this ain't no place to be a man. Sorry about that. Ain't got no future. Ain't got no past. And I don't think I ever can. All right. I think that's enough there. That's hellhole. And yeah, sounds like just about everything since maybe around 2012 when they turned on the Large Hadron Collider. Yeah, 2012. The Mayans were right. That was the end of the world. Everything we've been experiencing since then has really just been a hellhole. we are we are experiencing a hole. And okay, let's move on here. Back to the band. Yeah, maybe a little too deep there. But when you're studying Spinal Tap, you do really get some depth to your perspective. There's a roadie helping
Yeah.
Nigel up. Nigel was doing the back crawl, as you do when a rock and roll musician, you do the back crawl. They really had all the poses down. They really had it. And here we go. Here's a great backstage discussion with Nigel, the lead guitarist, and Marty DeBerge. This guitar that he has here, he's talking about the great work on it and the great finish, the great flame on it. And this guitar here, this first one, has such great sustain. Um, and you could even be aware of it when it's not playing, when you're not playing it. It's there. It sustains. It's excellent. There's wireless, um, you know, RF, connector so he could walk around stage wirelessly. There's a guitar. I think I caught the name quickly. It was like some guitar played by Merle Haggard. And it's one that he doesn't want you to touch. He doesn't want you to point at it. He doesn't even want you to look at it because it's just such a classic. And then, that's where he's telling Marty, yeah, let's move. You've seen enough. Let's get away from here. And then,
The Marshall stack.
what Spinal Tap is quite known for. Well, as Nigel describes it, this is the thing we have on top of our amplifiers on stage. But anyway, what they're really known for is all the gauges there do go up to 11. Now, typically, it goes from 0 to 10, 0 meaning all the way down. That effect, like if its volume is all the way down, you don't hear anything, and then you turn it up to 10, that's usually max. Not with Spinal Tap. 11 is the highest that they go. As you see, it's right in there. So it's true. Uh, Different amplifiers. Now, Marty did point out, well, why not have them go from 0 to 10 and then just make 10 the loudest, just make whatever 10 is louder. But Nigel doesn't think that'll work the same. It's like, no, 11 is one more. Numbers mean things, folks. It's all about the numbers. All right, so let's just move along here.
Oh gosh, are we getting into AI stuff now?
Well, what makes you think
Yes.
that?
Oh,
Uh,
that doesn't look right.
Well, I'm sure.
Mike is not. See, he's not
I,
having it.
well, I'm not saying this is Spinal Tap, but it could have been another '80s band.
No.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, that's a lot of members. But anyway, VO3. So we have a third video to play. So why don't I load that up right here? But yeah, I decided to streamline things tonight. Uh, this is streamlined earworms, folks. I've worked the reliable AI segment into the film slides.
That is the most ingenious thing I've ever seen.
Hold on
Yeah.
here a second.
Oh no.
Only on our 1 year anniversary. I can't even talk anymore. 1 year anniversary.
Yeah. All right. So here we go. We have video 3. I'm
Maybe.
hearing the video play, but it's not in the player. What is going on?
Oh man.
Yeah, I'm great. Yeah, you're all hearing it, right, folks?
No,
Oh,
I don't hear anything.
Yeah.
I see that the Rhino Scat band.
Okay. Rhino scat.
Rhino Scat.
Okay.
Not to be confused with Spinal Tap.
Well, folks, I was trying to play video 3 there for us, and for some reason, as soon as I load it up, I hear it.
You put in the damn AI stuff. It screwed the whole thing up.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah, that's
Bad
what
karma,
did it.
man.
Yeah.
That's what did it. Yeah, great.
Hello, Jojo.
Okay, so I'm going to soldier on, folks.
Oh,
This has
wait, we
been a
have
great
cat.
night.
Oh, the Joser's under the desk here.
Yes. What is it, Boo? What?
Stop the
No.
film. The cats are here.
The cats are back in town.
Yeah.
All right, so I heard a little bit of it because it was playing the audio, but not. It was playing the audio for me, no one else, and no video. Yeah, everything's working great on EV Mux
Video for
tonight.
you guys. You've been bad.
Yeah, so yeah, it looks like we're gonna soldier on. We're gonna soldier on, and yeah, you don't get this on any of the good streams. So here we are. They're in a hotel, and this guy is familiar. The guy on the left, I think he was in the film The Man with Two Brains.
I think he's been in a lot of films.
Yeah, I'm not sure what his name is. There he is. But anyway, he's
He is.
yeah, he's there. And unfortunately, they got a room on the 7th floor, but they really wanted 7 rooms, but they got 1 room on the 7th floor, and they're wondering how they're going to get 14 people in a king size bed. And no, so there's some issues here at the front desk, and call over a manager. They're trying to work it out. But there we go. The band does wander off a little bit, let the manager handle it. And there's some other stars in town, another cameo. There we go, Magic Man. And the difference is this is an act that actually is having some success. There's some people there greeting them, and you could see the difference between a band that may be kind of like on the decline, like Spinal Tap, versus a band, whatever this is, maybe Marty and the Funky Bunch or whatever, and that's on the rise, and they just don't have time to talk, and it's like, no, we need to go into the lobby and sit and wait for the limo. So, oh man, I know how that feels. It's like anytime I try to talk to Mr. Brown, I feel like that,
Hey, poor Mr. Brown.
No, I'm saying that, I mean, he's on the way up. He's one of the successful streamers, and yeah,
He's a nice man.
I can't stream to the right link, and I can't even play a damn video. I call up lyrics and knock myself out of the studio. This may be our final episode, 1 year anniversary.
Oh,
We
look.
did a year.
No, we just gotta change platforms and go to OBS.
Maybe, yeah.
OBS Ninja.
Yeah, I have an idea that's coming up a little later that we're going to try, I think, called Jazz Odyssey.
What's
give
that?
A shot.
Jazz
Give that
Odyssey?
a shot. A little bit of free-form exploration each week.
Oh, gosh. Oh, I thought you were talking about platforms. It's like, what? Jazz Odyssey? What is that? I've never
Well,
heard
Odyssey is a platform we do stream too.
No,
Uh,
no, I'm talking about browser-based streamers.
no, no. I mean, they're all very similar, and that's the thing. It's yeah, StreamYard. I'd be paying maybe twice as much, and there's no guarantee that it's going to work any better. I don't know, but we'll see. Let's soldier on here. But yeah, we are basically at our Spinal Tap phase, so that's why it's appropriate we did this tonight because this long 1 year legacy is we gotta we gotta breathe some life back in the band, and maybe we can have a Japanese tour. So
Yeah.
anyway, there's some discussions about such things there. Oh yeah, what did come up here is that they were talking about the album covers because the artist they just ran into there had some album cover where men in the band were being tied down and being whipped by scantily clad women, and there was like, isn't that hypocritical that an album cover like that goes ahead, but ours doesn't? And the difference is there, the band was the victims. And so in their album cover, the woman was the victim, and that doesn't fly. But here, if the band or the guys are the victims, then you're okay. And they said, yeah, it's a fine line between clever and stupid. So yeah, that's the thing. Oh, and here's an interview with Ian here asking about the band's decline, and he has the cricket bat there on the table, um, and he basically says, and this is something we could say, we're not really on the decline. It's just our audience have become more selective. You know, yeah. And there's the cricket bat, and he talks about that, how useful it is on tour. A lot of people like to have something in their offices. It could be a baseball bat, could be a cricket bat, and there are some utilities for this on tour. There you go, as you see, working with the television in the hotel room. And then we get a call here to David from his girlfriend, Janine, and she's going to be joining on tour. And Nigel looks a little troubled there. David's happy, but Nigel's not so sure. But anyway, Derek calls them into the other room because there's something from their past. Basically, this is like one of their older songs. It was on the radio, and unfortunately, at the end, it's announced that yeah, the band's name now is Spinal Tap, but they are in the "Where Are They Now" files. So yes, unfortunately, when you get to that "Where Are They Now," it means maybe your career has come to the end. Oh, well. Now I'm attempting to load another video. It looks like this time it is working, but that remains to be seen. At least I'm not hearing the audio right after loading it. Okay, so here we go. They are at the Graceland, the burial site of Elvis Presley. Must be nice to be able to have a burial site at your own home, or what was your home when you were alive. Must be nice. Most
Yeah, it's
interesting.
illegal in most places.
Yeah, well, not if you're the king. But a lot of bands did that. U2 visited Graceland. Paul Simon visited Graceland. A lot of bands at that time were visiting Graceland to, pay homage to the memory of the king. And here these guys are, right at the. I don't
New
know.
genre.
I wouldn't turn my nose up at that. That sounds intriguing.
Uh,
Okay.
well, Scott, back in the day when people used to have generational homes on a big property, you know, you would have a burial place somewhere on the
Well,
homestead.
this isn't like ancient history. Elvis died in the 70s.
No, but I mean,
This is
like
Steve, man.
historically speaking, and in this country and in many rural places. But there, I have a funny story about this.
I think it has to do with money. If you got money and you're leaving behind money, you can be buried just about anywhere.
Now
Yeah,
there's little family cemeteries on people's property all over
yeah,
the Smokies.
Oh,
yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. It used to be a thing when children inherited
I
the
remember when you
property of.
I remember when your dad was getting calls from this funeral
Yes,
home and stuff.
yes, that's what I was gonna talk about. Go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, he was, getting calls from this funeral home and stuff, and he's like, "Man," telemarketing stuff, and he, really got sick of it, so he, and now he's Cuban, and so he did in the his Cuban accent, he played the role of, like, somebody that's just kinda just got off the boat, so to speak, and, they was talking about, "No, I don't need a funeral services and everything, I've got my father buried out back," and he was, like, telling and he was playing the whole role. He was like saying, "What do you mean I can't bury my father on my property? What are you, a communist?" And
Yeah,
all
yeah,
this.
he had that telemarketer, but the thing is that telemarketer, that business deserved it because they would call every day
Oh,
and he would
man.
tell them, I'm not interested," and it was like spam calling, and finally he decided he was gonna mess with this telemarketer, and
Mm.
he had this woman on the phone, it's like, "What do you mean I can't do this? Are you a communist? Are you trying to tell me what to do?" And it's like and the lady was like, "Señor, you can't do that. That's illegal." And he had her on the phone for a long time, so
Yeah. Yeah, I guess you're supposed to inform the authorities when someone dies. What if it's you? I mean, there's no way to do it.
yeah,
Alright, well, anyway,
train your cat to dial.
rest in peace, Elvis Presley.
Yeah.
Okay, now we are back here. Marty DeBerge interviewing again, and I really forget what they were talking about. I think it was more of drummers and stuff because they did have a drummer that died from spontaneous combustion as well. And then, yeah, some more things in the past. This was during the Flower Power era. And now this says, oh, lyrics oh 04. Oh, yes. So, yeah, this is not a video clip. Um, And, yeah, my browser is actually not letting me click on tabs. Oh, for
What a surprise.
crying out loud. Yeah, everything's gotta go wrong tonight. But I can use a different browser. So that's what I'm gonna do. Lyrics oh 04. Let me look it up here. All right. And this is called Listen to the, in parentheses, Flower People. Listen to the Flower People. Listen. And then it says, shh, for what the flower people say. Ah. All right. And, it's poignant stuff. I guess I don't need to labor the point, especially since we're trying to get this all done in one night. But yes, some of the flower power stuff there. And they were playing that thing that you pointed out last week, Mike. What is that? What is that?
That sitar
That
pedal.
sitar.
Oh, yeah, yeah. The electric sitar. Choral.
Okay. Now this is not going to work out, I don't think, because right now I can't click on anything. This has been happening periodically throughout the week to me. I don't know what it was, an update or something, but I can't click on tabs and I can't click on the screen at all. I think what I'm going to have to do is open up EV Much in another browser and try again. You may see me blip out for a little bit here, folks, but I'll be right back. Uh-huh, 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 uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and it's not even letting me close. It's not,
It's not even gonna let you leave, man.
Something's
yeah,
going on with the audio.
the audio. Well, why not at this point? Man. Yeah, I'm gonna have to kill the browser here and then
Well, it's a sign that says fast forward.
I can't do anything right now. I click on stuff, it does not register. Like it's not letting me do it.
Mhm.
So right now I am going to have to let's see. I'm hitting escape, anything refresh, it doesn't do it. It's like the browser is just like dead and I can't even close it.
Oh man.
Hmm.
So let me see. I'm gonna have
Ooh.
to close. I'm gonna have to use the task manager to close it, and then you'll see
Oh,
me drop off, and then I'll be right back.
task
Okay.
manager.
That's what
Yeah.
I gotta do. Yeah, where you kill applications that are not even letting you close them. There we go. Um,
You're still here.
I know. This is stressful. There we go. I am.
Well.
Oh, he's offline.
Oh. Yeah.
I think I'm gonna have to go to bed.
Yeah. That's Mike. I am so hungry right now.
He may be by himself. I think we only got a few people watching. Maybe everybody's tired tonight.
Everyone's tired
I
tonight,
see Scott.
and
Everyone. It says
yeah.
3 people are in there. Oh
Yeah,
well.
that's us
It
and
is what it
Scott.
is. Scott, good
Scott.
night, buddy.
Yeah.
Lord, I'm gonna have to go, man. I'm like falling out of my chair here. I'm ready to go to sleep.
Oh shit.
We can continue Spinal Tap next week. Why not?
Well, I'm not trying to be a bummer, but I'm like blurred vision and
No, no,
Okay.
go to bed, Mike. Go to
All
bed.
yeah.
right. You know what, folks? I think we're gonna call it a night. And
Well,
All
damn, I
right.
know how to end a party.
well, you know
That's
what?
always
Here's
something.
what we're gonna do, folks. Especially since if you're watching this, you're seeing us on the rewind. Basically, leave a comment and let us know whether you'd like to have part two of Spinal.
Blah, blah,
If
blah.
you'd like to have part two of Spinal Tap next week, or if you or another option would be something else,
Yes,
or the
something
third
else.
option. The third option is um, stop streaming and don't do this ever again. You did 1 year, and that was more than
Oh,
enough.
Oh,
oh,
I wouldn't throw in the towel. I'm just saying
good
I'm
God.
hungry today.
Okay, all right. Yeah, well, everybody wants me to stop. So, all right, folks, we're gonna say good night to you. This was
Good
just
night.
a night riddled with problems. Um, and so we have Olivier Duche playing the national anthem.
Here we go.
Good
Good
night,
night, y'all.
farewell, so long, and thanks for all the fish.